Hi, Sellinah. How are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
Thank you very much for joining me on the new episode of my entrepreneurship journey.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you guys for joining. Also, I'll be having conversation with Sellinah. She's joined me today, and our business is based in Mpumalanga. She's going to tell us more about it. As you guys know, on the My Entrepreneurship Journey series, that each entrepreneur that I bring on board, they would do a monologue recording, share their story, then I would have a conversation like this. So before you watch this episode or after, you can watch our monologue where she narrated our journey from a young lady, up to where our business is today. But I'm going to have that conversation with her. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe on the YouTube channel. Share this message, because I believe it's going to help young businesses or young entrepreneurs out there. So you share your story earlier, and that was very inspirational, by the way. And one of the things you said is you learned about entrepreneurship from your mom.
Yes.
May I so rest in peace, because you had mentioned that she's late now. So tell me, what was it like? What were the things, specific things that you would see her do that made you want to also be an entrepreneur? And as you say that or share that with us, what is the kind of business she was into specifically?
Okay, so she was a street vendor. She used to sell fruits and vegetables downtown. But her vision was to actually build a transportation business wherein she would deliver these fruits and vegetables to stores and to other vendors. Yeah, so though I did not understand some of the things that she would do, because I was still very young, I remember the resilience that she had. She never gave up. I know that there were tough times, as in any business wherein, you're dealing with circumstances that you can't control, such as having a rainy day as a street vendor. But I would see her not give up, and she would never show us that things were tough, and one of the things I loved about her story is the fact that she never wanted to work for anybody. That's what I took mostly from her.
Did you think she learned that from someone, or do you have an idea? Because such strong conviction doesn't just jump on you. There has to be something that must have. Do you have an idea of what that was? Maybe our parents were entrepreneurs? Or?
Well, I don't have a lot of knowledge on our family history, but she probably got it from somewhere, considering her mindset, because she was very strict on that. She didn't, even when she had the option to, she never did. Especially
option to go and look for a job, that is.
She never looked for a job.
Yeah.
She never did. I don't know, maybe she had it in her mind to do so, but I've never seen her do it. And I've never seen her work for anybody else except herself.
So that was where your inspiration to want to be an entrepreneur came from?
Yes.
And obviously you were in primary school at that time, and you went to high school. Tell us about that episode, where you now with some of the things because obviously you're growing up and you're having better information and knowledge about life itself and your environment. And you had mentioned that you were a high performing learner also. and your teachers were recommending some of the, legacy things, meaning, finish high school, go to university, graduate, get a degree, graduate, and then go and look for a job.
Yes. I was convinced of that system for a while, actually. After losing my mother, because I remember correctly, she never had to deal with employees. She didn't have employees. She used to work on her own. So it's something that I never saw as a challenge. So when she passed on, and then I went on to high school, the documentaries I would watch, the soap operas that I would see, looking at how a CEO has to deal with so much pressure in a business, having to pay salaries, having to find the work for the company.
Deal with clients and all of those things.
Yes, I looked at that, and then fear crept in, like, what, this is probably not for me. And then going forward, later in high school, being a top performer, you have teachers telling this is what you should do, this one is suitable for you, don't go to college, go to varsity, finish this and do that. I ended up falling into that system. I wanted that because it seemed better. It seemed better at the time, not knowing that I had a bigger purpose than that. I wasn't made for the safe route.
The safety net, as it were.
Yes, that was not meant for me. There are people who walk that path and are very happy about it.
True.
But it was just not meant for me. And I had to realize that the hard way. As I've said before,
tell us about the hard way, because so you finished your matric, and you took a gap. You finished matric in 2015, and you took a gap year in 2016.
Yes.
And because you were a high-performing learner, you had bursaries.
Yes.
So take us. So what happened?
Well, I applied to numerous universities. I applied for NSFAS. I applied for bursaries that are available in the varsities, and I was accepted into numerous of them, actually. So my first choice, due to personal reasons, as I wanted to go to varsity for the wrong reasons. Firstly, I wanted to get away from where I lived. First of all, I wanted to get away from that. Hoping to build a new life, somewhere where nobody knows me. I wanted to actually set a standard, the standard that was expected of me from school. So I chose to go to Stellenbosch University, which is far in the Western Cape from Mpumalanga.
Yes.
I got there. I didn't last even 2 days.
What?
I left the school. I cannot tell you the reason.
Which course did you apply for? Or were you accepted? Accounting.
Yes.
And that would have lasted for 3 years, and honors for 1 year. So 4 years honors degree.
Yes.
You spent 2 days.
2 days. I didn't make it.
48 hours.
It was a lot for me. So that didn't pass. I left the Western Cape.
What happened?
I can't even put my finger on it to this day.
Culture shock? Was it culture shock? Culture
shock.
Yeah, it's like things were just different environment, different people, different way of doing things, and you saw that. I just want to understand. I mean,
it was actually, it was everything I wanted. It was everything I had envisioned when I thought of, Stellenbosch University, the beautiful place, the great environment, surrounded by other top performers.
Yes.
It was everything I wanted it to be, but somehow, something in me just did not want it. It didn't.
After 2 days?
2 days.
Not even 2 weeks?
Oh, I
not
couldn't
2
sleep.
months. Not 2 years.
2 days and I was a dropout.
Then you went back home?
I went back home. When I got home, obviously I woke off shame because, everybody's looking at me like I had high hopes for you.
I would be shocked.
I
would be shocked.
They were. They actually didn't want me to come home. They hoped I would come to my senses. Yes. So when I got home, I was also confused. I was confused. So I thought to myself, you know what, maybe it's because that university is too far. Let me try something closer to home.
Yeah.
Maybe the problem was the location. Maybe it was too far from family. Let me try something closer. So I went to the University of Witwatersrand. When I got there, I lasted another 3 days.
What?
I lasted 3 days.
3 days?
Yes, it was one more day for the other one.
I would love to know what was it though.
I think it was purpose. I think something in me was telling me that this is just not my road. It's not my journey to walk. Because when I went to Wits University, I was actually staying with a relative.
Okay.
So I couldn't say it's because I was far from home or no. It was the same course in accounting and I still left. I didn't want it.
Wow.
When I go home and I tell people about this story, they ask me, do you know how many people would kill for this opportunity?
Of course.
I'm like, I know, but I'm not going to live my life, doing things that I don't want to do because someone else would kill for the opportunity.
Was it your mentality? Was there a conviction? There has to be something. I can't imagine.
There must have been something, one being I did it for the wrong reasons.
You mean applying to the universities and wanting to go in that route?
Yes. I was trying to run away from a lot of things and I was trying to please a lot of people.
Okay.
I was trying to live up to a standard that people set for me.
I see.
It was all for the wrong reasons. I was doing accounting because what I really wanted to do was just too scary to do at the time.
What was that?
Entrepreneurship.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Yes, that was my childhood dream, to be a businesswoman, to own businesses. Yes.
So you went back home after 3 days?
I went back home. I had to suffer more shame, with my family giving me an eye of, you're still here. Yeah. So I got time. I had to sit down with myself and ask myself what I really wanted, what I wanted, not what other people wanted, because I realized that doing things with the wrong reasons wasn't going to get me anyway. So I had to be truthful with myself. I had to be truthful with me, with who I am and what I really want, as difficult as it was. So I sat down and I had a business idea come to mind. So what I did after that, it was starting a business, a marketing business, because in my gap year,
in 2016 when you took the gap year,
yes, I was a brand ambassador, so I got into the marketing and sales industry. It was something that I had gotten used to. It was experience. I gained a few skills while I was doing that job. I met a few people of influence in the industry, in the marketing and sales industry. So I thought, you know what, let me bring my accounting people together. I know some of them have different skills. One is in finance and the other one talks.
Yeah. So probably that person will be good at sales, as it were.
Yes. Having a person with finance who could manage finances in the business, having one who could speak to people, and then having me with the experience and the skill as well,
marketing industry
as well
experience,
as the contacts in the industry. I figured business would be well. So I called the two together, my former classmates. I called them together, explained the business idea, which was to do marketing for businesses. Specifically, in the beginning, it was for brand activations.
I see.
That's what we wanted to do. Hence the name Dutugo Promotions and Marketing. Yes. And the name Dutugo is actually not the name of a guy, because we constantly get people calling us, "Hi, Ntutugo." No.
Oh, were you all female?
All of us were female.
Oh, and that name, Tutuko,
It gave people the wrong perception, you know. After we do a job for a client, talking on WhatsApp, they'd go, "You know what, thank you, sir. I'm not sorry." So
what does Ntutuko mean?
The name Ntutugo means progress. So it was actually the meaning behind the word progress, because our mission was actually to bring progress in businesses and small businesses.
I see.
Yes, so we wanted to move small businesses into medium and then large businesses.
Assisting them to scale, basically.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so what happened? You guys registered a business. Oh, you spoke to them then? They
agreed. Okay. We started the business. We came in with a lot of expectations, a poor mindset, and little experience of business. We didn't exactly know what business was, you know. We knew there was an exchange of value and money, but we didn't exactly know what it would take to build a successful business. So we got scammed a few times. We got taken advantage of, but we survived that. You know, and going forward, because we still had part-time jobs.
Yes.
We were in the business part-time, so we weren't fully invested into the business. We were willing to put money in it.
Yes.
But we weren't willing to put in the work that was required.
I see.
Yes. So after a few weeks or months, a cousin of mine came into town. She had graduated with a bachelor's degree in marketing management in UP. So she would actually join our meetings and give us advice here and there. And at the end, we actually invited her to say, "You know what, why don't you join us in the company? You're a valuable asset." And she agreed. She joined, and then we became
So from 3, you became 4 partners in the business.
Yes. Yes, we became 4. But nothing changed. Basically, you know, we continued the way we were continuing, having meetings, a lot of discussions with no action whatsoever.
Oh, no.
No actions until the following year, you know, where...
So that was 2018?
Yes.
Till 2019?
No, that was 2017 and then moving on to 2018.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. In 2018, 2 of our directors, the 2 former classmates that I started with, one of them got a job and one of them went missing in action. We couldn't locate her. We couldn't find her. We didn't know what was happening with her.
Yes.
So we were left only 2.
That are active in the business.
Yes.
Okay.
So we would have one partner who would sometimes refer clients to us, but that was all she could do. Yes. So we had to go the journey together. You know?
So you brought this new partner, which you said is your cousin.
Yes.
And both of you are active in the business.
Yes.
In 2019. Then what was the difference? What happened?
She actually joined me in my part-time job.
Yes.
Being a brand ambassador. She joined me there, and then it wasn't only after the other 2 became inactive that we actually started putting in the work.
Okay.
You know, we realized that we had to put in the action. We had to do something if we wanted the business to succeed.
Yes.
So we started working, and
by the way, this is still in 2018.
2018, yes. And what we did was we eventually quit our jobs due to reasons I've explained already, you know, having to deal with unprofessional managers, unprofessional drivers, and an unhealthy environment.
When you heard her said, which she already explained, that is when she narrated her story in the monologue. So the link to our story, My Entrepreneurship Journey by Sellinah, will be in the description box. So you can click on it, watch that, and then you can return to this video, or after this conversation, you can then go and watch that. By the way, if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe, like, and share the video with other people. And thank you for that. So carry on.
Okay, well,
so 2018, your cousin joined, and you were both working part-time and trying to get clients for the business.
Yes, that's when we quit our job.
Okay.
Yes, due to the unhealthy environment, we weren't interested in that anymore. So we had to move on, and moving on, we decided, you know what, we're gonna go in full time into the business. And it was easy for a few weeks. After that, hell broke loose. It was torture.
What happened?
It was torture with zero support structure, with zero income outside the business. We were faced with some very harsh realities, you know. We had to understand a few things. We had to change our lifestyle, live on less.
Downgrade.
Yes, we had to do that. It was very difficult transitioning from the lifestyle that we were used to to not having personal lives. You know, our lives were business. You know, you wake up from the morning to the evening, it was business.
Looking for clients and, you know, trying to make sure that the business doesn't fail and all of that.
Yes, okay. And we actually made the mistake of focusing more on sales rather than working on the business.
What does that mean?
Because with the business being our only income, our only revenue.
Source of income, yes.
Yes. We were more worried about how much are we getting at the end of the month.
Okay.
Rather than improving the business.
Oh, I see. So, correct me if I'm wrong, most of the revenue that you would generate, however much that is, you were paying yourself. Is that what it means?
Yes.
So there was no extra to spend on the business to improve it, as it were.
We used to make just enough to cover our bills. After the bills, there was nothing left. So we would start over every month.
It makes sense.
Yes, so it got even harder to a point where, you know, when you're not developing your business, it's going to fail. So slowly but surely it went down. We also went down. We went into like a deep stress situation where we couldn't even see it ourselves until we got out of it. And we realized actually we were in this space. We were in depression and we didn't know it.
Wow.
Yes. So 2018 was basically very confusing. You know, we made a lot of discoveries, not so nice ones.
By the way, when you were going through all of this in 2018, was there any point in time that you thought I should have stayed at university?
No.
Why?
I'm a very stubborn person.
Oh.
You know, once I make up my mind, I don't even go back to review. Once I make up my mind, I made it up. I said I'm gonna do this, so I'm going to do it. That's what I do.
So with all the challenges, you never thought, you know what?
No.
Wow.
The only thing I thought about was, well, maybe I should submit my CV.
And look for another job.
Yes. Okay. That's what I wanted, because to me, varsity actually didn't matter, you know. Education for me was always more of experience. I love the informal education where I get to read books, where I get to watch videos, where I get to listen to people who are experienced, who are experts in their field. That was education to me.
Especially entrepreneurial skills or education, as opposed to academic education.
Yes, because, you know, the only difference I saw between varsity and reading books was the certificate that I couldn't even submit because I'm not going to apply for a job.
You've made up your mind.
I've made up my mind. Yes.
So even if you had to university and graduate, you were not going to
I was
use the degree anyway. So you just
It was just a piece
made
of
up your
paper
mind,
to
and you focused on that, and you were resolute that entrepreneurship is all that you wanted to do.
Yes, because the only other form of education that I got were like short course entrepreneurship programs.
Okay.
Where I got to learn about entrepreneurship, and they issued us with some certificates, which never meant anything to me.
True. So let's go back to end of 2018. You know, like you said, it was a very challenging year. Then came 2019. What then happened?
2019 was probably my worst year in entrepreneurship.
I thought you had it worse.
No, 2018 was just the beginning. 2019 did it for me. Hey, it did it for me. I was worse. I was deep in the end of depression. I was, dying from the thought of not paying my bills at the end of the month. I didn't want to see myself fail. I didn't want to see people going, I told you so. So I put a lot of my energy into the business and nothing else. So I had no social life. I had nothing outside the business. So it was terrible. It was terrible. Nonetheless, we were still working on the business, but we had no resources.
Okay.
Since we were living from month to month, bill to bill, what we could do was go to the library every day, and from the library.
So you were running the business from the library?
Yes. Okay. All we had was one laptop, a very tiny one that we could just go to the library with, get free internet, sometimes use the computer. Because one laptop can't help us both with two directors. So one had to use the computer, so
at the library.
We had very limited time. With the library, they tell you 30 minutes.
Oh, computer. Okay. So you can only spend 30 minutes on the workstation.
Computer. Yes. So the rest you do on the laptop and on paper.
As at that time, if you can remember, how many clients do you have, and the income or revenue from that? What was it like?
I can't recall the annual revenue for the month of 2019, but for the year of 2018, ending in 2019 February, I believe we made about 20,000 or so for the whole year.
2018-2019 year end?
Yes.
Or financial year end, as it were?
Yes.
20,000 rand?
Yes, you can imagine 12 months and just 20,000.
That's less than 1,000 rand a month.
Yes. So had we been renting, we would have been homeless.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So that was it for us, So
library then?
We worked from the library, and then, one day we had a breaking point wherein we didn't want to go home, but the library was closed. So we decided, let's chill in the stadium. And we had to pour our hearts out like, you know what, we do have a plan, because we believers, we'd be sitting there and praying to God like, Lord, we have a plan. We know this is what we want to do.
Yeah.
This is how we're going to do it, and it's going to succeed. But we have nothing to start with. We have nothing. So at that point, we asked ourselves, what can we do? Who can we call, that can help us, that can come to our rescue? And then our breakthrough came only a few months after that, in the month of July. I remember there was a church camp. That's when we got clients coming in. That's when we started revising our pricing, fixing our pricing in a way that we could be left with profit at the end of the month. So that's when we started on our road to success.
Wow. So mid-2019, things start to change for the better. And so you mentioned that you prayed, so I would believe God answered your prayer.
Definitely.
And over and above that, what would you say that you did differently, within that period that could have, also impacted on getting more clients and seeing the business improve over and above God answering your prayer?
I'd say, the way that God answered our prayer is by actually changing our perspective. By changing our mindset,
I see.
From how we started off, what we expect the government to do this, we expect our family and friends to do this.
I see.
We want this one to support us. We want to approach this client once and then sign a contract with them. We changed from that mindset. We changed from the mindset of we don't want to fail to moving on to a mindset of we need to try new things.
Oh, you need to take more risk.
Yes, and we need to learn more. Because if we're not learning anything, people are going to continue to take advantage of us.
True.
And the business is going to go downhill again. So we transitioned from horror to success by changing the way we think. We changed from self-entitlement to,
that's the word.
Yes. So, what we were looking for was the government to support.
And a lot of young people do that.
Yes, we do. We do that. We do that a lot. We feel entitled to whatever the government has. We pay taxes, 15% and all that. But yes, the government has the power to do that. They should be doing that.
Or the constitutional right to do that,
But when they're not doing it, there's nothing we can do about it. Because if we sit down and complain about that, no one is going to come to our rescue.
Absolutely.
As Vusi Tembegwayo, I believe, said, he said, there is no Messiah. You are the Messiah. No one is coming to help you. You're the one who's supposed to stand up and do it. So we can't sit down and complain about what the government is not doing. Yes, it's their fault for not doing it.
Yes.
But that's not going to help our success.
True.
So we have to move on regardless of that.
Okay.
So
a huge breakthrough, if I may call it like that, in June, July 2019, thereabout came. Then, what was that project, if you can remember what the project was? The project that came, or the set of projects that came at that point that led to you then being able to sustain your business?
Okay, most of them were market research.
Okay.
That was one of our most selling services, market research, marketing and sales plans.
Okay.
So we would conduct market research for our clients, compile a marketing plan for them and a sales plan, and then they would execute the marketing plan on themselves. We would do flyer distributions.
Oh, okay.
So we design a flyer for clients and do the distribution ourselves.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Those were the projects.
Okay. So take us through the rest of 2019, because I know that the year 2020 was interesting.
Oh, yes. I love 2020. I know a lot of people are crying about it, but it's actually proven to be the best in all my years on earth.
Okay.
I saw true breakthrough in that year because, I managed to get out of the depression that I was in. I managed to get my peace back, my complexion back. I got out of the everyday routine of going to and from the library.
Okay.
I stopped working in the business. I was forced because of the lockdown to stop working in the business, because when the lockdown hit us, we lost all of our gadgets. We couldn't do any work. So if we wanted to do work for our clients, we'd have to borrow a laptop from somebody.
Oh, okay.
So that forced us to stop working in the business and start working on the business, improving our services, improving ourselves, and building better systems for our business.
Interesting. And this was March 2020.
Yes, March.
Within
April,
that
May.
period, you had mentioned in your story also that you applied for funding at one of the youth development agencies in South Africa. Tell us about that.
Yes, we applied at the NYDA for funding. We wanted to create a home office because, most of our clients are in Gauteng, but we are located in Mpumalanga. And we realized that most of our target market is actually around us in our own community. But we couldn't actually talk to them because if we did, that would mean they'd have to come into the house, which was not so professional.
I see.
Yeah, so we wanted to build a home office that was suitable enough for clients to visit us.
To walk in.
Yes. So we applied for funding at the NYDA. We submitted the documents, but unfortunately, we couldn't find our director still, and we couldn't remove her without her consent.
By the way, you guys are still four directors on the company registration document.
Yes.
However, it was just two of you that were active.
Yes.
And you submitted this funding application, and four of you obviously have to sign.
Yes. So we dug up most of her documents, her past documents that were long expired, the certification.
Yeah.
But we submitted it anyway because we really needed to move forward. She had kept us from actually a lot of opportunities from moving forward. But we said, at this time, we're submitting with faith. We're going in faith.
Yeah.
So we submitted the documents. They took a few weeks or months before they got back to us. They reviewed it and then they loved the application. But when the final form had to be signed, they needed the director.
Oh, yeah.
We all had to sign. We could find the third partner, but we couldn't find the fourth one to sign. And so we lost the opportunity.
Wow. How was that?
It was so painful.
Considering the fact that you needed it.
We needed the funding, and the director that we were looking for didn't need it. She had a job. And she was running away from us intentionally. So it was very horrifying, if I may say. Speaking for myself, I was very angry. I could not figure out what would make her do such a thing. Yes. So it was very upsetting. It was very disappointing.
What is the lesson learned there when it comes to choosing business partners?
Oh, so much, because I've learned that there are a lot of factors that need to be considered when you start a business. First of all, think about what's going to happen when you fight. What happens on your first fight.
Because sometimes choosing a business partner is like choosing a life partner.
Yes.
Like
you're tied to that person. You're tied to them, So you have to find out what's going to happen in the future if you don't want to be a part of this person's life. What's going to happen the day you go, you know what, you're not doing your job, you need to leave. You need to know what their reaction is going to be.
Yeah.
You need to find out the character, but more importantly, the vision that they have.
Oh, yes.
The vision.
Yes.
Where do they want to go? Are they just in it for the money, or is this a passion for them?
Is
this a purpose for them, or are they just doing it because you suggested it?
Yes. And talk about suggesting it. You were the one that approached them.
Yes.
And obviously especially this particular partner that absconded was not interested, never interested.
She actually, in the beginning, she had a lot of fire. She was attending meetings. She was the one going, guys, we need to be early, we need to do this. But when she found out that it wasn't so easy.
I see. I've seen that also. Where people get excited about the idea.
Yes.
However, ideas only don't convert to a successful business.
No.
You have to do the work.
And you have to keep going even when it's difficult.
Absolutely.
Yes, even when it seems there's no hope, you still have to keep going.
Absolutely.
And you're not going to keep going if your main goal is making money. That's the challenge that we face mostly these days with people who think they're entrepreneurs but are actually tenderpreneurs. you know, they register a company because they heard there's a certain tender somewhere. They heard that, you know, their cousin said, you know what, there's a job here.
Yeah.
If you get a CK, this is what's going to happen.
Yes.
It doesn't last.
It doesn't. Because that could be a once-off. And like you said, that's not entrepreneurship.
It's not.
It's how we locally call it, it's tenderpreneurship.
That's why we have a lot of half-done roads in South Africa. Because we had people thinking, you know what, if I get a CK, I'm a businessman. And it doesn't work like that.
It's never. So you lost the funding because this fourth partner couldn't be found to sign the relevant documents. And around what time was this?
Probably maybe in July or August, somewhere there.
2020.
2020, yes.
All right. So what then happens?
Well, we saw an upcoming event for the 67 CEOs, the Global Entrepreneurship Week. The remaining partner, who is my cousin, actually jotted down the event the previous year in 2019 when she saw that it was an annual event. She jotted it down and said, we're going to participate in this competition and we're going to win. She was very confident.
Wow.
You know, she had the faith going in before we even created the video. She was like, we've won. Don't worry about it, we've won.
Wow, that's a strong conviction.
It was so much so that we were actually rejoicing before we even found out that we won the competition.
Oh, okay. So you were chosen as one of the winners?
Yes, we were. We won the first prize for Mpumalanga.
Oh, okay.
And it was actually more money than we had applied for in the NYDA. So we were able to build our office. And
wow.
As of currently, we have people working in. We hired our first employee a few months back. And
you're not creating jobs.
Yes, we are about to welcome our second employee, a salesperson, this coming week.
Wow.
So
So you won the money in November 2020.
Yes.
The previous months before November, that is, you had time, because you were explaining that earlier, during the lockdown, you were able to work on the business, refine it, think, strategize, and all of that. And you won the money in November.
Yes.
And you were able to then use the money to execute the plans that you previously had.
Yes.
And, you know, sitting here now as at the time of recording this video or this conversation, this is April 2021.
Yes.
So you won the money again in November 2020, and leading into 2021, you started, you know, see improvement in the business.
Yes.
And you said you've now designed your home office where people can walk in.
Yes.
So now that you have a working space, has that improved the number of clients and sales? Definitely, which is why we were forced to actually hire an assistant, because we couldn't even keep up with the admin work, you know. Are you serious? Yeah. Yes. Sales increased a lot. Sales increased? They did. Our client base is much bigger now. Our quality of service is much better. Yes. We are quicker, but we still struggle, which is why we're bringing on a fourth person. Wow. Because the workload is just that much. Fourth person being the second employee. Yes. By the way, you transitioned or changed the business name from Ntutuko to, what is the new name now? Zanda Empire. Zanda Empire. Yes. Are you still 4, or how many directors do you now have? Oh no, actually the name transition was to celebrate that we finally removed the other 2 directors. So it's just 2 of you now? Yes, only 2 directors with 2 employees. Interesting. Interesting.
Oh, yes.
So sales increase, you said you now have more clients to deal with. You're now creating employment. Wow. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
I'm very impressed. How does it feel looking back? How does it feel?
It feels really good. I feel like I bore my director at times because I'm always in a praise mood, wherein I look at the office and go, you know what? I used to envision this every week before we won the prize money. I used to just go there and stare at that terrible space and go, you know what? A desk could fit here, a desk could go here, and I would do that every week. So whenever I look at the whole space now, I just go, we used to live in a place like this before.
Wow.
We had only one laptop, and now this is what we have. We have so much.
How many laptops do you have now?
We actually have 2. We gave away 1. We have phones, fully functional ones. We have digital cameras.
What?
That we use to create videos, to give sales and business advice on YouTube. So every week I'm looking at this. It's Zanda Empire.
Zanda Empire. Guys, subscribe to the channel and see the beautiful work they are doing.
Yes. So whenever I'm carrying my phone, I go, girl, we used to have no phone, Whenever I go into the internet and I'm not rushed to finish within 30 minutes, I'm like, we have internet, we used to go to the library and go, if only I had this internet at home, if only I had this mouse to just
conveniently do my job.
Yes. So it's praise week every week.
Wow.
That's how it is. It's amazing.
Wow. This is absolutely inspiring. And because again, looking back, you had the opportunity to attend university. You were so convinced that it's not what you want. And you went on and registered a business. There were a lot of challenges, numerous challenges, up to your physical health being impacted. I can go on and on about all the challenges. You persevered.
Yeah.
And now you can celebrate.
I can. Every day.
Because things are now working.
They are.
Why didn't you give up?
I had hope. I had faith. At times I would ask my business partner, like, what do people do that don't believe in God?
That's a big question.
What do they have? Because we persevere like this because we have hope. We have faith that God has promised that things will be fine. So we have hope that, one day, whenever we face a challenge, we go, one day, it's all going to be fine. So what do they do? Who do they run to, if not hope?
Oh, yeah.
So that's what kept us going, the promise of one day I have plans to prosper you, not to harm you.
Wow. And you can see that in your life practically.
Definitely.
You are not watching it on soapies or documentaries.
No.
It's happening in your life.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Wow.
I can stand now confidently and boldly and go, what, guys, the Bible that we read is not just theory. I can stand boldly and go, those that wait upon the Lord,
wow,
He shall renew their strength. I've seen it myself.
I think we are starting a church service. So, Zanda
Empire.
Empire. What is the plan? Obviously you started executing some of them and you're seeing the fruit of that. What is the future like for the business?
We hope to change mindsets. We hope to actually raise more entrepreneurs, not tenderpreneurs, not employees, but we hope to raise entrepreneurs, because as most entrepreneurs have said, that the future of this country lies in the small business economy.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're hoping to achieve. We want to grow more businesses. You know, the more businesses grow, the more unemployment alleviates. You know, if anything is going to help this country, if anything is going to help our black sisters and brothers, it's going to be entrepreneurship, because you can go to varsity. My partner can attest to that. You can go there, you can get a degree.
Yeah.
But the system that you enter after that is not so degree friendly. It's not. You know, we can attend these varsities. It's a great thing.
Yes.
You know, learning and seeing new things and experiencing and building community is very important. But it's not going to give you success. It requires more than that. So at Zanda, we're hoping, because we don't want to build offices in town. We want to build offices in the location. We want to remain within the community. We want people to see that it's possible.
So as you are growing your business, you also want to tell stories around it, inspiring stories around it, so that people can also believe that it is possible to build successful businesses in the, should I call it rural area or location or township, you know, as it,
Yes, we want people, because we know that not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
But those that are meant to be, but are stuck in the job system, we hope to get out of there.
Or those that are stuck in the self-entitlement mentality.
Yes, they're unemployed, that have the business idea but don't want to rise to the occasion. You know, we're hoping to speak to such people. We're hoping to increase jobs. We're hoping to inspire, basically, and just improve the South African economy.
Wow.
While providing excellent marketing services, of course.
On that note, I would like to truly thank you, Sellinah, for coming to share your story with us and also inspire us and have this conversation. And I truly want to commend you for persevering, you know, because a lot of young people give up, you know, at the verge of challenges, you know, one or two, but you were so convinced that this is what you wanted to do, and you persevered. You know, that's very, very commendable. And I am very sure that those that are going to watch this conversation and also going to watch and listen to your My Entrepreneurship journey that you shared earlier will be very, very inspiring. You know, look into the camera and, you know, give one or two advice to a young person, a black female, someone from the township or rural area that wants to do something but don't believe it's possible.
Okay, I'd say do not let fear get the best of you. You know, failure is inevitable. You know, we can't escape it, and we can't really put a clear definition on failure, because it brings so many lessons and it makes us better people. So don't fear failure so much that you run away from your own purpose. You can't run away from failure so much so as to derail from what you know you can do and what you're supposed to do. You know, we were built to withstand challenges. We were built to overcome. We are overcomers, and That's exactly what we should be doing. And we can't overcome if we're still living under the mindset of fear. We can't overcome if we're not willing to take risks. So we have to take the risk. We have to stand up. No one is going to stand up for you. You have to do it yourself, as hard as it may be. And that's all I would like to say.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Guys, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Again, this is a series, and there are other entrepreneurs that we've interviewed. Please watch their stories, share them, inspire other people. And thank you very much for joining us on this episode. And see you in the next one. God bless you. Thank you.